Hello everyone, MacLeod here with another story from the realm of the dice. I'm sorry if my voice sounds a bit off today, I think I have the flu, but let's get into it. Here is a post from someone who made their first and possibly last paladin due to a rather strange campaign. Let's look at the post. A few years ago, I had the opportunity to join a D&D campaign for the first time. I was really excited because I had been wanting to play for years and it was finally happening. The game was in person, and I was friends with most of the people playing, including the DM. We were a party of 5, me, my friend Loki, her friend Thor, and the DM's friends Stitch and Dandelion. My first ever character was a human paladin because that seemed pretty straightforward. A short sword in one hand and a magic spell in the other, here to kill skeletons and save lives. Because I was new to the game, my friend Loki buddied up with me during character creation, and we made our characters together. She was really into roleplay and played in a lot of other D&D campaigns, so she suggested that our character should have a romantic plotline where my character, human paladin female, had a massive crush on her character, human sorcerer male. It was a bit outside my comfort zone, but I thought it would be a great way for our characters to stick together while I learned how to play. Quick side note, I think that while romantic relationships can work in D&D and it definitely needs to be talked about before the game starts, using it as a tool like this with someone you've never played before might not be the wisest idea. Loki, human sorcerer male, and her friend Thor, human fighter male, ended up making characters that were brothers with a tragic backstory of Loki's wild sorcery, accidentally killing their parents, and Thor subsequently hating him for it, and having magic-related PTSD. Loki and Thor were playing in a few different campaigns as well. Stitch made a halfling rogue, female, who seemed to think she could get away with being a murder hobo and randomly stabbing NPCs, torture, and stealing party loot because
Teehee, I'm such a cutie, you have to like me.
And Dandelion made a human bard, male, who was just a positive dude who wanted to have a good time. From the start, it was a mission to keep my paladin from not smiting the rogue for being an evil little and Stitch insisting that she can just look innocent and get away with anything, while covered in blood because
Teehee, I'm just so adorable.
Jesus Christ. The DM's plot hooks kept leading the party to way over-leveled encounters that we had to retreat from over several sessions. The whole time, Loki's character was ignoring my character. At the end of every session, I told her, privately, that it looked like our characters had no chemistry and maybe we should drop the romance plot. She would always insist, "No, keep going, it's great," and then completely ignore me in-game. I really admire that OP tried to actually set it straight and break up a romance plot that just isn't there. Clearly the other player was not being very truthful here. Our first boss encounter was a mess. Stitch dashes to the end of the dungeon to 1v1 the boss, leaving the rest of the party to deal with a large group of mooks. Loki's wild magic surges and they turn into a plant. Thor's PTSD fires and he stops fighting to wail uselessly. And Dandelion is hiding at the back because he has no combat spells apart from Vicious Mockery. So my paladin almost dies fighting all of the mooks alone, while Loki and Thor live out their drama and the DM starts pulling his punches because Stitch bit off more than she could chew with the boss. The campaign limps on, and I asked Stitch if she could at least try not to commit crimes right in front of my paladin. I offered to make my lawful good paladin oblivious, or make her look the other way, but Stitch kept being an evil ass right in front of my paladin, and the DM told me if I tried PvP, then the rogue would easily win, because she min-maxed properly and I didn't. Cool. One time we found a door to a tavern basement that read, Fight Club. And when we went down the basement stairs, we found a football game on a grassy field that only half our party could participate in, while the others watched. The DM hadn't prepared an actual fight club and was winging it. He didn't have rules prepared for a football game either. Honestly, it's in situations like this where DMs should be okay with taking a step back and say, okay, you know what, let's retcon this real quick. The fight club didn't happen. Instead, you find a creepy tavern with nothing in it, or something like that. That's totally fine if you're out of your depth. Dandelion's character got bored and snuck out one night to fight a town cemetery full of wraiths by himself. My paladin tied him up, so he wouldn't run off to his death. I regret that, because he was probably just trying to kill off his character and start a new one. Sorry, Dandelion. The Thor and Loki situation started to get weird. The two brothers developed a noticeable level of sexual tension during the game. Huh. Despite this, Loki insisted that my character keeps up the one-sided crush. It all came to a head when something weird with psionics happened and Loki's character was outed as being gay. The DM turned to me and immediately laughed at my surprised face and asked me if I felt like an idiot for spending so many sessions hitting on a gay character. What the hell, guys? It's one thing to out a character as being gay like that. If that's planned with the DM and the player, then fair enough. If it's not actually prepared ahead of time or something like that, then it's just... that doesn't feel right at all. What people identify with like that is their own business, and they should get to decide when to share it, if at all. I ended up leaving the campaign after that. Loki later admitted that she was trying to decide if she should date Thor, because the two of them ended up as a couple in every other game of D&D they played, so she made their characters brothers so they wouldn't bang and set me up as their romantic interest to keep her distracted. Her plan failed, proving that she really did have a thing for Thor, and they started dating. Congrats to them, they're a lovely couple, but RIP campaign. TLDR, friend invites me to a D&D game, convinces me to have my character, female, crush on her character, male, while their character is secretly gay and also falling in love with their brother. And that's the end of the post. I feel like this post deals with a couple of different issues, both in terms of a DM that might need a little bit more time learning how to properly improvise. This also shows that a Session 0 would have helped a lot to really showcase what kind of game each player wanted to play and see if their expectations align. Session 0s are so important, especially for newer groups, or even if you've played before, then a Session 0 is good anyway. It's always good to know if every player is on the same page before you start playing. But that's it for today. If you liked what you saw, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.